Okay, and we are live. Sorry, I just had to go and take care of a little matter. But to everyone that is here, thank you so much for being here. I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Tamara West, and I work in the Intercultural Programs Office here at UT Dallas. And next to me is the lovely.
Hi everyone, my name is Zoe. You can also call me Zoe. Jiayuan Chen. I'm from China, and now I'm a master degree student in accounting, and it's my second year here, and I'm also a member of FACS.
Great.
Nice
So
to see you
thank
guys.
Yes, and good, I would say, I think it's good evening slash good, late evening for everyone who is tuning in from all over the world. I noticed some people might be here from India, some people might be here from China or from other countries. So thank you so much for staying up to be with us. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. You should be able to see a PowerPoint slide on your screen. I'm currently sharing this slide with you. And so we have a visual aid. So hopefully you can hear our voices. So our microphone is on. And so we will begin. Okay, so once again, this is us, Tamara West, and then we have Zoe here representing FACS organization. Now, just to explain about the webinar, if you have any issues with connectivity, that might happen. All you have to do is just to exit the webinar and to restart your Blackboard Collaborate. So hopefully we won't have any technical issues, but as we know with technology, that might happen. You can also try using a different browser, such as Google Chrome or Firefox, if the browser that you're on is not working. The session is also being recorded, and we will have this webinar available and uploaded to our website. And the link is on the PowerPoint, as you can see, utdallas.edu/ICP/webinars. Another thing is that you can see and hear us, but we cannot see or hear you. So if you're trying to speak, we are not able to hear you. Just the overall agenda, we'll have a PowerPoint presentation that's about 20 minutes, maybe a little less, and then we'll open to the Q&A session, which I'm sure everyone is waiting to ask their individualized questions. So you will have a chance for that. Currently, the chat feature for that is not on. So if you try to post a message in the chat box, which is down to your lower right, it's not open right now, but it will be open at some point. And we'll let you know when it is open. And then we'll have a closing up time, and the chat feature, of course, will also be still open. You can leave your comments for us or make any suggestions. So sounds good? Those sound good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're getting into it. So top 5 questions that we get a lot from international students. Here working in the Intercultural Programs Office, here on the UT Dallas campus, we have students from all over the world, over 100 countries represented here on the campus, and we're very honored. But, some people might still ask, why should I study at UT Dallas, right? There's so many schools all over the world that students can choose from, and why would someone choose to come here? Well, we have an answer for that. So some reasons, these are not the only reasons, is that UT Dallas was named a best college value by the Princeton Review. And for those of you who know anything about higher education, the Princeton Review is a very credible source for ranking schools. Another reason is that we were also designated as an R1 doctoral granting university, which R1 means that you can do the highest research level. And we were designated this by the Carnegie Commission on Higher Education. So this is really important for students who want to do doctoral work, post-grad work. UT Dallas is the place to be. And last but not least, I think this is probably one of the most exciting reasons, is that the UT Dallas campus is located close to major US business, finance, and tech industries.
Yeah.
So here in the Dallas area, we have so many
job opportunities.
Opportunities. You have major US companies that are here. When you talk about finance, there's Goldman Sachs. accounting, there is, Ernst and Young's, there's just business, technology. There really are a lot of opportunities here. So the location is absolutely perfect. Of course, we're not promising anyone that they can get a job at those companies, but you are in pretty close proximity to them. And so, of course, if you're applying for stuff, then it's good to be close by, basically. Okay, so another one of the questions that we get questions about holds. If you are logging into your Galaxy or your Orion Student Center, you might see some holds in your account. So what are these holds? Holds are basically things to, it says prevent you from registering for classes, but I would like to say it kind of reminds you that you have things that you need to take care of, right? So you can view your holds by logging into Galaxy, and some common holds that international students have. They'll have an ISSO hold, registrar from the student health, admissions, or cannot register online. So if you go into your Orion Student Center, over to the right side, you'll usually see, where your holds are. So what are holds specifically? Once again, holds are reminders that you need to take care of certain things before you can register for classes. And I think Zoe would agree with me that the way the process works in the United States is that you don't register for classes first and then take care of stuff, right? So you might think, oh, I'm a student, like the first thing or maybe the second thing I need to do is register for classes. Well, actually, it isn't. It probably will be towards the bottom of your list.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that before we put you in a class that we take care of certain things. So that's what the holds are. So if you have an enrollment hold, that would be from the registrar's office, and there probably is some requirement that they need from you. For example, if you are 22 years or younger, then you will be required to get a meningitis vaccination. If you see an enrollment hold, that's from the Student Health Center, and it might be, that it's your TB test that needs to be done. And the TB test, that's a big question that we actually usually get. It must be done in the United States, right?
Yes, and we suggest that you do in the UTD campus. Or if you want to do outside the campus, you must have you must do in the qualified institution and have their file, the records of your TB screen test, and then you have to upload it to your system.
And this is really important. So don't go and take the TB test in your home country and then come to America, because those test results will not be accepted. So just wait until you get here. And as Zoe said, you can do it at our student health center, or you can do it off campus as long as it is in the United States. For more questions about the TB test, it's best to contact the student health center. And their information is on the screen. Another hold that might be on your account is for enrollment, and that has to do with admission. So maybe there are certain documents like transcripts or certificates, or they basically verify your academic credentials. You might have another hold that says cannot register online, and this is pretty typical for new students. All new students at UT Dallas will have this cannot register online hold, and you just need to meet with your academic advisor, and then that will take care of that. And last but not least, this is a common hold, or every international student will probably have this hold, which is an international hold, and that means that you are required to attend international student orientation, which is a requirement for any student that is on an F1 or a J1 visa. All right, so moving along, international student orientation is mandatory for F1 and J1 international students. You can register online early to make sure to get the date that you want. So for example, for the spring semester coming up, we already have our dates on our website. They are December the 18th, 2019, and January the 8th, 2020. So once again, our first spring international student orientation date is December the 18th, 2019, and the next one will be January the 8th in the year 2020. So registration is currently open for that. Also with international student orientation, just go on our website, I would say, and read the details, because we have like a pre-arrival checklist on there to help you know how to prepare. So we have helpful information so that when you come to orientation, you have some idea as to what is going on. Now, some departments do have a departmental orientation, and that is different from your international student orientation. So please check your email, and if you're whatever program you're in, so if you're in the computer science program or engineering program or any program, if they send you an email saying something about a program orientation or department orientation, then you need to follow up with them directly if you have any questions about that. And then whenever you register for orientation, you will receive a confirmation email with details as soon as you register. And registration is actually done now in Orion. So the same place you're going into your Galaxy to check all your holds and everything is the very same place that you can register for International Student Orientation. And you'll get a confirmation email as soon as you register with the details, like the date and the time, etc. If you do need to change your date, because we experience this a lot in our office, Zoe, where students register for one particular orientation date, but maybe something happened, maybe they didn't get their visa in time or something, and they need to change it, that is perfectly fine. You can change your date, your orientation date. There is a 24-hour wait time though, so you have to wait 24 hours to change your date. But as soon as you wait the 24 hours, you can change it after that, and then you'll get another confirmation email with your new information. And all of this information is on our website, which the link is here. And last note about orientation is that the TB test results are not required to attend orientation. So some students ask us, Zoe, do I have to take the TB test before I attend orientation? No, you don't. You do not. It's not a requirement for orientation. So once again, it's best to go on our website, which is here below, and it tells you what you need for orientation. All right, so another question that we get is about housing. Zoe, do you get a lot of questions from incoming students about where to find housing?
They because they first come here and they worries about a lot of housing, and they usually ask about the on campus that shows on screen, and also off campus like apartment, a house, something.
Yeah, so I mean, where you're going to live, that is the number one thing, right? It's just the number one thing. And you're born, you grew up in your parents' house, you never had to think about that. But you know, when you move to a whole new country, it is your responsibility to kind of figure that out. So we have on-campus housing here at UT Dallas. I would have to say that it just goes really quickly, everyone. I mean, it is gone like hotcakes here. So
you have to reply early for that.
If you apply for it and they send you any email, you have to be on top of it. You have to accept your housing offer, or within the time, because they will give you a time. So so basically after you apply, there'll be a time that you have to accept this offer by this time. Just make sure you do it for anyone who is interested, because the housing here goes really quickly. And currently for spring, there's not a lot of availability, but you can always reach out to the housing office directly. My office is not in charge of housing. We do not make decisions, and we don't know their availability. So you can always contact them directly. I believe their email is housing@utdallas.edu. So basically, when it is applicable, you can apply for housing, and you'll be put on a wait list. And there is an application fee for that. So, just kind of make sure what you want to do before you go ahead and pay for that. And once again, it's just best to contact housing directly. Their website, and they would have more up-to-date information in terms of the application process and the wait list, etc. Okay, so some of our students are able to stay on campus, but I would say quite a bit of students stay off campus, right? Would you say, so for the students who are, all across the world wondering, how many of the people you know, how many of them stay off campus versus how many stay on campus?
Um, I well, most of the freshmen, the first year of the college, they were required to live on campus.
That's very true.
But most of our like sophomore or master student, when they come here, their first choice would just live off campus. They will find their own apartment or house, live with their friends, and I think off campus is it's a wonderful experience. You can live in different complex, enjoy different culture, and also know a lot of friends as well.
So you heard it yourself from Zoe, quite a bit of students, and it is, I have experienced that as well, that for undergraduate students, for freshmen, they will be on campus a bit more. But for, graduate students, doctoral students, most of them will be off campus. And it's just, I don't know, they're living on campus, it is a community, right? There are a lot of, UT Dallas does an awesome job at having activities and programs. They have so many things, so it's not boring here. But for some people, maybe they just find a better offer or a better place that they like, or a different place. So there are many different reasons. But we have a video that can help you out. I'm not sure if y'all can access the link that is there, but actually on our website, once again, my department is Intercultural Programs. If you go to utdallas.edu/ICP, as in programs, that is our website. And we have resources available there that you can see for off-campus housing options. And actually, even the UT Dallas website has off-campus housing information on their website. So it's no secret, we want students to be able to find a place, because if you don't have a place, you can't study. So please check out those resources. Another way to find housing is to use social media. So, go on Facebook. A lot of our student organizations are on Facebook, whether it be, they have a Facebook or Instagram, and you can, DM them and say, hi, I'm, looking for housing, and, they will advise you. Another thing is you can search along the bus routes. So we have a link here to, if you know that you'll be coming in and you might not have a car and you need to take our local public transportation, then you can, see the bus route and then try to make sure to find an apartment or some type of housing that is along the bus route.
We have some wonderful apartment complex around that bus route. Right. So along the route, and it's not far away from the campus.
Right. Yes.
So, and their location is wonderful because they also have like a supermarket around them, a bank, and also have restaurant. So it's a wonderful choice if you want to living off campus.
And, for those of you who have heard, the United States is not necessarily known for having great public transportation. But once again, back to one of the reasons of why UT Dallas is location, 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 because this happens to be one of the areas that has public transportation.
Yes.
I mean, all over America, a lot of cities have work to do with public transportation, even in the state of Texas. And, y'all will just happen to be in a city that has public transportation because many other cities do not have it. So once again, the location here, you can get on the bus. We have a train system, and you can, go do your hobbies. For students who are coming in, they get like a DART pass that they can travel on the bus and on the train. There's no additional cost for that.
Free.
So it's really neat. So once again, many options for housing. Reach out to people, ask for help, reach out to a student organization. You can email us, you can reach out to fax if you have questions, or any other current student. All right, so what are your next steps? Your next steps, I would say, is check out our new student checklist. I told you we have resources for you because we have been doing this for a little while. And so we have a list that can help you with what you need to do to prepare to get to UTD. We even have a travel guide that tells you, how to time your arrival, what to pack, what you can carry on the plane, like what are some good things. And I know Fax has a video as well.
Yes, of course. And also we provide airport pickup also for new students. And I think that new student checklist is very important and useful because before I arrive, I use that checklist to
you did?
Yes, of course.
Yay.
I download it from the website and then just check everything that I did and I need, and it's really useful.
Okay. So there, you heard it yourself. So I'm happy to hear that people are using the checklist because I've never actually met someone that used it. Sometimes you work and you make things and you're like, is anyone even paying attention to this? But it's really helpful, everyone. And, you can always edit the checklist to, whatever. For example, pack in, bring whatever you think, but just based on our experience, that is our recommendation. And once again, to Zoe's point, we do offer airport pickups. So if you want information about how to get picked up from the airport is not terribly far away, but it's also not like a 10-minute drive either, but it's not 2 hours away. So, but we can even help assist you and connect you with someone that can pick you up from the airport. We have really great organizations that do that. Fax does that. We also have the Indian Student Association. I know that they participate in that. We have a group called Big Howdy. Howdy, like howdy y'all for Texas. And they do a lot of airport pickups. They did some this past semester, and I cannot remember the number, but they picked up, I think, hundreds, like 200 or 300 students from the airport. So we really want to support the whole student because we know, as someone who isn't originally from the States myself, it's a lot to pick up and move your life to a different place. And so we're here, to help and support you as much as we can. So once again, go ahead and check out our checklist. We have wonderful information. If you have any questions, you can always, feel free to ask us. The checklist talks about, things to do before you come here, and we also have a post-arrival checklist. So we have a pre-arrival checklist and a post-arrival checklist. So everything is organized for you. Okay, so it is that time of the morning. We have about 34 minutes left on the webinar. So this is question time. So I know some of you have been listening. Thank you for those of you who are here. Someone just joined as well. Thanks for joining in. It's never too late. And so this is the time where you can ask us your questions, any questions that you have. Just make sure that it is appropriate. We're here to answer your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the chat feature. So you should be able to post your questions in the chat box. So we await your questions. Ask away.
And I noticed that in the list that there are some Chinese students.
Yes.
If you have questions about facts and also for a specific Chinese international student, you can ask and I can answer you quickly. And also, if you want me to answer it in Chinese, you can say it in the chat box.
Yes, so if for those of you who need to type in Chinese, you can go ahead and write your message in. Zoe is a native Chinese speaker, so she can read it and she can respond to you. So, and of course, if you want to translate or either ways to the other people who don't speak Chinese, but we'll work it out. Just talk to us.
Questions. So.
Okay, we have messages coming in. Hi Divya. Hi Yinggong. So Divya has a question, and once again, I'll just put your question. I won't necessarily say your name in case you want to remain anonymous. So the question is, how is the transport service for off-campus housing students, as in the frequency of the shuttle? So I think the question is, if you live off campus, how frequent, how good is the transportation?
Yes.
Is it pretty regular? Like, what would you say?
I think off-campus transportation is basically depends on the DART route, right? It has the west route and the east route. It's so from most around campus apartment complex, it's 883, right? It's route 883, and it has west and east route. And so for the east route, it's 30 minutes per. The frequency is 30. Yes, the rounds for 30 minutes per round, and for the west is 20 minutes per round. And the time for the DART route is from Monday to Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Saturday is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And from for the Friday and Sunday, the west route will have the extension route, and it's the destination is warmer, so you can do some shopping during the weekend for on this off-campus transportation. But this off-campus transportation is usually for go to your school, go to campus, or sometimes during the weekend to shopping in Walmart. But if you want to go to other place to explore more fun place, I would suggest that you better to get a car, or you had a very good roommate that that will take you everywhere, right?
I didn't have that kind of roommate in college. I think I should have gotten a better one. Well, I put the slide that we have up that has the link to give more information to you, Divya. So the DART system stands for Dallas Area Rapid Transit, and that is the system for Dallas. So it's called Dallas Area Rapid Transit. So the DART system covers the Dallas area bus and train. Now, we at UTD, because we're such a large campus with almost 30,000 students, we work with the City of Dallas Public Transportation, and we have our own bus. So it's pretty frequent. If you want more information, you can check out DART. The UTD bus specifically is called an 883 bus. But that bus can take you to UTD, it can take you to downtown Dallas, because once again, it is the Dallas area transportation system. So it's not just only for UTD. We do have a bus that is only for UTD students, because we want to have a bus for students that fits the student schedule. So we arrange that with the city. But you can also ride the regular city transportation. And of course, this is America, so things are organized. And if the bus is supposed to be here at 9 a.m., it's here at 9, and then the next one comes, in the next 30 minutes, and the next one 30 minutes after that. So it's pretty regular. I'm from Jamaica, and when I was growing up, I had to take a taxi with 6 other people in it. Wow. And you never knew when the taxi was coming, and you just had to stand and wait, and there was no schedule. But here you can get information online. You can go online. Yes. So we do have pretty regular transportation here. That's a very good question. So thank you, Divya, for asking that. Okay, we have another question. We have Shirag. Thank you, Shirag, for asking us your question. It says, which apartments you suggest to stay in, as there are lots of them off campus? So before you say anything, Zoe, I would like to say something. So very good question, and we actually get this question a lot here at UT Dallas, and particularly in our office, intercultural programs, and I'm sure your student organization representatives get this question too. At UT Dallas, so as a professional staff member, we never give the name of any apartments because I'm not sure how much you know about America, but there's a thing called liability, which basically equals responsibility, right? So if we ever name a place and say, okay, we think apartment X is a great place, Well, if you go to apartment X and don't have a great time,
Yeah.
well then you might come back to us and say, but you told us apartment X was
Mhm.
great and it's not, and you have responsibility in whatever difficulties I might be experiencing. So I'm sorry to say this, but that is the reason why as a school we will never advertise or name a particular place.
Mhm.
Because we don't have any control whatsoever. But just to kind of answer your question, Shirag, there are a lot of apartments off campus. Um, so don't be worried. You won't have to search really hard to find. You will have lots of options, and it will be basically up to you to choose from, based on whatever your budget is, or whatever, if proximity is a factor. And the apartments, they have websites, you can check them out. It's always nice to visit
You can
in
use
person.
Google, right?
Oh yes,
Yes, Google Map is a really good place that you can explore by yourself around campus, also around the location that you want to live or want to explore. So you can find apartment complex there that you're interested in, and you can go there. And also on the Google Map has their website, so you can go their website and to check out those housing options. And also they have a lot of like housing website online that you can search by yourself, and also on the screen that we have those videos link that you can check for off-campus housing.
Yes, there is a lot of information, but it's one thing to see something on a website. It's another thing to physically go there yourself.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Because when I moved up here for this job, I saw pictures and everything looked great, but there's nothing like going there yourself. If you know someone, a friend who is here, you can even ask them and say, hey, can you go to this apartment?
Yes.
And just if you go to an apartment and tell them you want to see it, then they will show you, and then just maybe have someone like take a video.
Picture,
so if
yes.
you can't physically be there, see if you can get a friend and say, hey, can you just go to this apartment and just get some video for me, because I kind of want to physically see with my eyes. And once again, reach out to the student organizations on campus through social media, and they will kind of give you the little details that you feel you might not be able to get from the apartment website, because they don't tell you everything, right? So it's good to hear firsthand. All right, so we have another, hopefully, Shirag, I hope that answers your question. If not, feel free to let us know. All right, yes, okay, you are welcome. All right, next we have a question from Amaya Kulkarni. Hello, Amaya. And the question is about meningitis vaccination. Do I need to carry a list of previous vaccinations that I took since childhood? Now, my answer to that is you should really contact the student health center for that. I don't work with the student health center, so that specific question I will not be able to answer. Zoe, do you know any idea?
Yeah, I know a little bit. I checked the health center website before I come here, and they said for student that vaccine is only for students that under 22 years old, and or at 22 years old. And for those students, the only required vaccine is that vaccine, and other is not required. But if you wanted to bring those lists for other, like for further use, in case you can bring them, but it's not required. The only required is that vaccine. And for students that older than 22 years old, that is only required for TB tests, and it's required to do in America.
Right. So the meningitis vaccination is not required to be done in America, but the TB test is. I'm sorry, the light keeps going up. I guess we'll leave it off. But once again, I put the link here. The name of the office that you would need to contact is the Student Health Center, and that is their office. It is their responsibility to manage anything regarding student health. So it is best to reach out to them, because if there is any new updates, if there's anything that we're not aware of since we last checked, they will be the best ones to
Yes.
tell you.
And also
So-
those link will be shown on the, I believe that will be shown on the checklist.
Yes.
So
yes.
it
Yeah.
will tell you more details about where to find those requirements and what to do about those requirements. So check the checklist.
That's very true. The checklist. How did I forget about that? I worked on the checklist, and thank you, Zoe. Okay, hopefully, Amaya, I hope that answers your question. And just something for everyone, you'll notice here at UT Dallas that, okay, Amaya just said that thanks a lot, the checklist is helpful. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. You know, that's something here you'll notice at UT Dallas is that everything is kind of separated. And actually, this is not just UT Dallas. This is pretty much any school in the United States. Every office does a specialized thing. So we work in specialization. So my specialization is I deal with things that are intercultural programs. Another office deals with health. Another office deals with, you know, the registrar or taking your money. I shouldn't say taking your money, but, you know, helping you to pay for your tuition and fees. Versus when I was in Jamaica growing up, I went to the office and one person, and she did a lot of things for me. I didn't know all the things that she was doing. You know, she put me in classes and she put my money here and she did all of these things and I wasn't involved in it. But when you study here in the United States, you do have to take a little bit more responsibility and you have to go to the specific department yourself. But we are so helpful here. Like you will get way more information than you probably even want. But that's because every office has their specialization and we leave it up to them to communicate to the students.
Yeah. And if you don't know where to go, you can always ask. And people here are really nice, and they will tell you where to go and like what office. They sometimes even tell you what the office number is.
Oh, for sure. Yes, we have. We are a well-oiled machine here at UT Dallas. We actually celebrated 50 years this year, so we are 50 years old. I mean, we are not 50 years old, but UT Dallas is 50 years old, and I have been here personally less than 2 years, so not even that long. And I'm being as objective as possible, not because I work here, but I am very impressed with the school, with how much they care about the students, how many services they try to provide to help students. No place is perfect, but we do try, and students give us feedback and we work on it. And so it really is a great place to be. So I hope that that will be y'all's experience as well whenever you do come on campus.
Yes, and they do. Yeah, they do help international students a lot. They held a lot of like cultural event for you to experience your own culture or different culture. Also, they will since we have a lot of international students, so they will know a lot that what international student would need for their study or living. So they did a really good job.
Yay! I think. Go UTD. Okay, all right. So we have another question we're going to get to posed by Uche Chukwu. Thank you, Uche Chukwu, for your question. It's about the DART, so the transportation system. It says, is boarding the DART bus different for students? Like we don't have to pay to board? And that is a very good question. And the answer to that is, so when you enroll for classes and you pay your tuition and everything, you will get a DART pass that you just put this DART pass. I think you can even have it on your,
right?
It's a sticker that
you can put on the back of your comic card, which is your student ID. And you can, so you can use that pass to
get on the DART
with like free.
Yeah, exactly. So you go on the DART and you don't have to pay a thing. Isn't that amazing? So I never, you know, I went to school in Jamaica. I wasn't afforded these nice things. But here, you know, once again, the UT Dallas, we have been in the community for 50 years. We work with, we do good work in the community. And so we have worked out with the Dallas area rapid transit system and say, hey, our students, And actually, particularly international students are the ones that usually take the bus because they don't have a car. But we said, hey, we want our students to be able to get around and to get to class. And so we worked out something with them. And so once you are enrolled in your semester, you know, and you're a student, you just get your DART pass and you jump on the bus. You don't have to pay a thing. So there's some students I've met. We actually took a trip to downtown Dallas, and the student didn't have their DART pass. And I said, but why? It is free. Like, why do you not have it? And they said, oh, I just haven't picked it up from the office as yet. And I'm like, I'm staff and I don't get to ride the DART for free. I said, I would like a free pass, but so don't worry, you can jump on the DART. As Zoe kind of said earlier, it does take you around Dallas, if you and other cities as well. So it's not just Dallas, because technically our school is in the city of Richardson, but it the bus services several cities. But if you want to go to maybe a place that is kind of further away, that's what Zoe was saying, maybe it's best to, you know, you can rent a car or have a friend that has a car, or if you want to Uber. But you can pretty much get, I'm not sure what the mile radius is for the DART, but you can get to a lot of cities. You're not just restricted to like campus and like 1 mile outside of it. You can go to Plano, Richardson, Dallas, and other cities, Farmers Branch too, I think, other cities that it goes to. So and DART is pretty good. So hopefully that answers your question, Uchechuku, and thank you for your question. Okay, a follow-up to that is the bus free for other routes? Once again, if you are riding the DART, which is the Dallas Area Rapid Transit, you can ride it for as many rides and wherever it takes you.
Like any route.
Right, any route. So if the DART bus, you know, goes, you know, to Plano, the city of Plano, which is a pretty nice like upscale area, you're free to go. As long as the DART bus goes somewhere and you get on that DART bus, you can go there. Once again, we don't really have a lot of other options for transportation. So there really isn't another bus system for you to get on. Unfortunately, kind of up in this area, it's pretty much the DART, and that is why I said the location of UT Dallas is just perfect, because I used to live 1 hour away from here, near the city of Fort Worth. Some of you might have heard of Fort Worth, and to be honest, there is kind of a bus system there, but not really. Not really. I couldn't tell anyone how to take the bus. It was very limited. Dallas area has a larger bus system. So fortunately, you are in the right place where you can get on a bus and go to school, you know, go shopping, go to restaurants, and just experience and live life, you know. So the bus, wherever the bus takes you to, you're free to go.
And also about the transportation, I want to add something that is most that Chinese student asked me before, that because in China that it's very different from here, that you can walk to anywhere that you want. It's not anywhere, but it's like around your living place. But here is not. You cannot. you don't imagine that you can walk from your apartment to school. That is a long way. And also from in Dallas, especially in the summer, it's really hot outside, and you don't want to melt on your way to campus, right? So don't think that you can walk to school or walk to the Walmart unless you live next to the plaza that they have a Walmart. Yes. So remember that you really need a ride. Yes. No matter it's public transportation or your car or your friend's car, it's really important here.
Now, I do have to say, Zoe, I have seen some apartments that are in walking distance of UT Dallas, but you know, it depends. So for example, if someone says, can I walk to school? Some people, depending on where they're from, maybe it it's like a 10-minute walk.
Oh, yeah.
It will not be a 10-minute walk. Where I'm from in Jamaica, you know, I used to have to walk from my house to the bus stop.
Yes.
And it pretty much was like a mile, or I was walking over a mile. Yes, I was a country girl and I used to have to walk over a mile. So it depends on what you're used to. If you're used to like a 10, 15-minute walk, you probably won't be able, there's no apartment that I would say is that close by. I know that there's some that I can
Unless
think of.
the on-campus housing.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, on-campus housing is like smack on campus, and you can get here. And we even have on campus, we have some things called comic cruisers, and they're little like kind of taxis,
Yeah.
maybe like a 6-seater, the max I think I've seen, and you can jump in one of those, and you can take it from your apartment up to your class or whatever. But so you can walk from your apartment or wherever, but I would say for where most apartments are to where UTD is, the closest that I can think of, doesn't mean that it's the only one, it's just the one that I can think of. It's not going to be 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes.
It will be longer. So if you're down for like an hour walk, it's up to you. Some people are fine with that. It's good exercise. But, as Zoe said, in the summertime in Texas, it's really, really hot. But, some people, they're fine with that too. They're okay with the heat. So it's up to you. It's up to you. But the DART is, goes all over Dallas and outside the city of Dallas area. So yeah. And for those of you who can get on Google Maps, honestly, I know you might be in a different country, but I like to work smarter, not always harder. You can go on Google Maps and you can put in UT Dallas, and it will bring up our school. And you can put, let's say that you find an apartment and you're wondering how far it is. You can use Google Maps without having to physically be here.
Yes.
So go ahead and do your research, run different possibilities. Something that I do also is traffic, because traffic here in Dallas can be a doozy.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you want to know, okay, well, this apartment says it's 2 miles away, but with traffic, it's not going to be 2 minutes. It might be, it's usually triple, I have found. Whatever the mileage is, I times it by 3. So if it's 2 miles, it's going to be at least 6 minutes away, at least. So you can use your Google Maps, and great thing with Google Maps, I don't work for Google Maps, but the great thing with them is that you can put even a time in the future. You can plan a schedule out. So many different things. So you can see the traffic time, at the time that you were going versus the time that it is right now. So, okay, I think we have answered their question quite well. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's move on to the next question. We have a question from Yang number 2. He says, hi, or they said, hi, I am an F1 transfer. When will I get my new I-20? Yang, that is a very good question. Unfortunately, we are not the best people to answer that, but we can tell you where to go to get that question answered. So your I-20 is processed by an office called International Student Services Office, or ISSO for short. So once again, ISSO. And you probably have emailed ISSO, so that these are all letters, ISSO. You have probably emailed them, and they have emailed you. So they would be the best people to contact. If you are an incoming student, you would probably email ISSO prospective student, because you are incoming. So that is where you would need to email to ask them about your I-20. Once again, we kind of spoke about, every office does something different. My office, we don't process the immigration documents, so I really would not be able to answer that question for you. Is there any information on ISSO website as to like a general idea about when someone gets their I-20, or?
It's not specific that when it says that when you can get your new I-20, because for myself, I'm also an F1 transfer. But what I did is I emailed them, and I also called them. because you can find their phone number on the website, on their website. You can search ISSO in the utdallas.edu, and then they will give a lot of their information. Then you can reach them. And also sometimes they reply email pretty quickly, but sometimes due to a lot of new students, they may have a tons of emails to reply. So make sure that you check your emails frequently, and if you think that's really urgent, you can even try to call them, and they will pick up your questions and answer it quickly. And so contact them. They're the best people.
And another tip to add to that is the UT Dallas website has a really great search function. So if you go to utdallas.edu, because I don't remember their website right off the top of my head, and just type in the search bar the letters ISSO, and it will take you to their website. And they have a lot of information on their website, because once again, they get asked these questions a lot. And so they have information there, like it will tell you, how to fill out your I-20 and everything that goes with it. I was never on one, so I can't really speak to it, but it's best to reach out to the ISSO office, and you can email them at issoprospective@utdallas.edu, and they'll be happy to help you. Okay, any more questions? Yes, you are welcome, Yang number 2. Is there a Yang number 1? Why do we...
I don't know. Oh, okay. Also, I think one more thing for Yang's questions, that for F1 transfer, that you might need some additional document that is not quite the same as new F1 student. So for prepare those documents, remember to ask specifically about those documents when you reach the ISSO office, so that you can prepare like in time.
Yes, and you said the right word, Zoe. Timeliness is really important. Yes. Guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, it's really important. At UT Dallas, we will communicate with you. We will tell you the things that you need to have prepared. Please take it seriously. The American university system doesn't really make a lot of exceptions. So if we're asking you for something, it is because you need it. Sometimes I get emails saying, oh, I know this is what you said we should do, but do I really have to do it? Well, if we're telling you, you probably have to do it, right? And especially matters regarding immigration, we have to report to the federal government of the United States. So if we're asking you for a document, it's not just, don't think of it like, oh, it's UT Dallas, I don't need to give it to them. They can, accept me in the school. They don't need all of that. Well, whenever we submit your information to the federal government and saying we have this person enrolled in our school, and they ask us and say, okay, where are those person's documents? And we can't show that, then we're going to get in trouble. And do you know what might happen? I mean, I hate to say it, and I don't think it will happen, but we consider it a blessing or a privilege to be able to have international students here. And so we have to do the right things. And if we don't, then we get in trouble. And then next thing you know, they might say, well, we can't trust you to have any more international students because you're not doing the right things. So please understand, if we're asking you for something, then just know to get it done. Some people wait until the last minute. I know sometimes, you don't know what life is going to bring you, right? You don't know when you're going to get your visa, so you can't do this and you have to wait for that to happen. But as soon as you can start checking something off of your checklist, just start, go to our website, utdallas.edu/ICP, get our pre-arrival checklist and start checking things off, because I'm a planner. I love to plan. And as soon as I can get something checked off, the better, because you don't want to wait until the last minute, because you can see a task on the checklist and think, oh, this will only take me 5 hours. But then you start working on it
Yeah.
and you realize, oh, it's going to take me 24 hours. And what if those 24 hours fall on a weekend when businesses are closed? And so now it's
Yeah.
not 24 hours, now it's 72 hours. So all of those little things, please just be very timely. And if we ask you for something, just know that we need it. It's not because we just like to ask students for unnecessary paperwork, because
Yeah.
trust me, we don't have time.
Mhm.
So just, timeliness, I would highly suggest that. Okay, we have another question here from Ying Gong.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Ying Gong, for your question. Hi to you. The question is, how could I know whether I have a mandatory department orientation? And I think then the continuation is, should I email my own department? Zoe, do you
Yes.
have an answer?
So I'm from Johnson. So I will talk about the Johnson things because
What is Johnson?
Johnson is is the business school here, and so it's Navan
Okay.
Jingdao School of Management. So the whole name.
JSON.
Yes, JSON.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. So
Yes.
usually you would receive emails from your program that says
Mhm.
if you have a mandatory department orientation, and if you do, what the time and location would also says in the emails. So if you don't have one, and okay, so your major is CS. Okay, so I don't really know.
They have one.
So you know
yes,
that, okay.
CS has one, but once again, you really have to reach out to your department,
Yes.
and your department will tell you if you have one.
I think if you don't know your program email, you can always check out the UTD website and to check their program website, and they
Right.
have their contact informations. And also, if you're worried about that, you don't know if you have a mandatory and you don't receive any emails from your program, you can always just email them first, ask about
yeah.
it.
Absolutely. And if you a lot of people work with an academic advisor in their program. So if you're working with an academic advisor and they're talking to you about the classes you need to do, ask that very same person, because that very same person is in your program. Some people might say program or department, but it's the same, or some people might say school, but it's the same thing. So I know computer science, they work with us a lot for our fall orientation, and because they ask us when we're having our orientation to make sure that there's no conflict. But the best thing to do is to reach out to the computer science department. I'm not sure about spring. They probably will have one, because I know that they usually do, but once again, it's best to ask them directly. All right, and we're coming up on time. We do have time for one more question from Amaya, because the session will close and I don't want it to just close out like that. So the last question says, I have received admission letter through email. Will I get a hard copy? Once again, that is a question for the ISSO office. It's not a question that I know. So I will put their information here. It's ISSO prospective@utdallas.edu. So it's best to reach out to them. So thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. Thank you so much for your questions. Once again, we'll have a recording. You are welcome, Ying Gong. We'll have a recording of this available. Please remember, thank you, Amaya. You're welcome. Thank you so much. And once again, just communicate with us, email us. You can reach out to student organizations. Leave your comments. Let us know how you enjoyed this webinar. We also have some future webinars coming up. I know FACS, they also do their own webinars because they're awesome like that. But thank you so much, Zoe, for being here so early in the morning. And to everyone, I think it's probably a night, so good night to you.
Good night, everyone.
Good evening, and just keep in touch, and we'll be here to help. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.